Hey Lupico, me, Razor here, and today me explain the new XILONEN CHIORI Genshin banner in Razor's language. Our Haitham, friend, is also here to explain in our Haitham's language, which means explaining more in depth about the banner. Our Haitham, promise you're not too mean today. Yes, I'm never mean. I just always state facts. Okay, so in the video, me explain in Razor language first, then our Haitham does his thing, then me finish things off, meaning he's gonna summarize things up first. And after all explanation is done, we will give you our personal polling advice for newbies. We also use the following grading scale: bad, decent, good, and very rarely awesome or amazing for really good units. Take it away, Razor. Banner time! XILONEN, Big Jaguar Lady. She's an ocelot. Awesome support. Chiori, sassy tailor lady. Fashion designer, but alright. Decent off-field damage. Collei, decent support with some off-field damage. Candace, bad support. Dori, decent support. But because this is such a mismatched banner, the 4 stars and 5 stars doesn't want to play with each other, so the overall banner value comes down. XILONEN banner as a whole, good. XILONEN is just that good. She carries this whole banner on her big jaguar personalities. And Chiori's banner, bad. Let's go to weapon banner. If you have XILONEN or Chiori or Albedo, XILONEN's weapon is good on them, so they can buff the whole team more. If you have Chiori or Albedo, or if you have a sword DPS that likes to play with XILONEN or Zhongli, then Chiori's weapon is good. On to 4-star weapons. Bow, good for Yoimiya, but Yoimiya is also not that good. Bad for everyone else. Stick, he means the sword. Good for Chlorine, Keqing, Ayato, Ayaka, decent for everyone else. Book, decent plus support weapon. Shovel, Razor, that's a poor. Decent minus for Kachina, Emily, Sino, bad for everyone else. Big stick, honestly I give up. Decent for Dia sometimes. Decent minus for everyone else that wants energy recharge. Favonia's big stick is just better. Overall weapon banner, decent. For all these banners, we just want to get the 5-star early and run away with our tail. If we stay long, we suffer many not good 4 stars. Razor done. Our Haitham, do your thing. Oh gosh, I have a lot of things to say about your presentation there, Razor, but we do have a lot of things to cover, so let's move on. XILONEN, combat power, awesome. A lot of content creators have already gone over how awesome she is, and we agree. She's an extremely good buffing support for any Pyro, Hydro, Electro, Cryo, or Geo characters. XILONEN's ease of build is good. Only her skill talent need to be high level. Her burst level is only required for healing. XILONEN's weapon can be whatever the team needs. Usually, Favonia's sword is the most universal. Her signature will buff the whole team's damage, scaling off defense. Team flexibility, awesome. Any Geo or Pyro, Hydro, Electro, Cryo main DPS wants her. Typically, wherever Kazuha is played, XILONEN can also be played. Razor, huh? I have a question. Why doesn't she buff Dendro? My favorite element. What's up with that? Well, me don't think she has anything against Dendro. I'm just giving you a hard time. Moving on. Okay. XILONEN's utility, good. This is our Haitham for the future. Yeah, no. XILONEN's exploration utility is amazing. It's awesome. Gotta see it to believe it. Climbing mountains has never been so easy. Fast special movement in the overall, especially amazing in natlan. Overall, XILONEN is an awesome character to have in your roster. Chiori, combat power, good. She does damage from off field, and good damage at that. Her ease of build is decent. She wants a typical DPS crit build, and Chiori only needs her skill talent. Team flexibility, decent minus. Chiori has a crippling restriction in her combat kit. She wants to be played in a team that has at least 1 Geo construct. So that makes Mono Geo usually her best team, for example Noel's team or Ido's team. She can also be played in a double Geo team with either Zhongli or Kachina. Because Kachina is a free unit, the Chiori-Kachina duo is very accessible and decent, but not always the best option available for different teams. Chiori's utility is good. She makes the whole team run faster in the overall, and she can jump very high. Look, Razor, she's copying my move. Well, Kaching does it before. Overall, Chiori is a decent character to have. Let's move on to the 4 stars here. Collei. Hey, she's also Dendro, your favorite element. Yes, quite. Combat power, decent minus. She has competition from the Dendro Traveler. A Dendro Traveler has 3 constellations, but there's some small differences between them. Collei has shorter burst cooldown, so she prefers to be in a team with shorter rotation, and her energy is more manageable. Basically, both Collei and Dendro Traveler are Nahidas at home. They apply Dendro from off-field in an area. Collei's constellation mostly improves her ease of play and personal damage. Ease of build, decent. Collei can use a typical off-field DPS grid build. Her personal damage is decent but not significant. Her exact artifact set can be quite flexible and depends on the team that she's in. She could use the Deepwood set, Noblesse set, Instructor or Exile set, or even the new Natlan support set to buff the team. Team flexibility, quite decent. She can be slotted into many Dendro teams. Quicken, Bloom, Hyper Bloom, Burgeon. I let Collei hang out in my team from time to time. Collei's utility, decent. Gliding uses less stamina. Overall, Collei's decent minus. Candace, I feel bad to say this. Combat power is bad. She's such a badass in the story. It's weird. Yes, unfortunate. Regardless, she deals minimal damage. She applies Hydro in an area, but very little. She buffs a little bit, kinda just do a little of everything, but doing nothing well. Almost all of the plays that we could use Candace, Yelan or Xingqiu or Furina are just better. Candace constellations give quite a few quality of life, but nothing major. The biggest improvement is C6, improving her damage and Hydro application. Lately, though, Candace has been seeing some uses in Alekino's team and Mualani's teams. Not the best option, but viable one. So I guess that bumps her up into a bad plus. A win is a win. We take that. Candace's ease of build, bad. She needs a horrendous amount of energy recharge to have her burst up. She's begging for several bonus weapons in the team, or at least another Hydro teammate to help her out. Team flexibility, bad. There are 2 good teams in the entire game that she works well in, Alekino's and Mualani's. I guess you could put Candace as a copium option in a Bloom or Hyper Bloom team. Utility, decent minus. You save some stamina while climbing, but it's 2024 in Genshin. We're not climbing anymore. We grapple and fly and teleport and whatever this is. And overall, do you really need me to say it again? She's bad. Plus, hey yo Haitham, don't be mean to Candace. I'm not being mean to Candace. I'm chuckling at how Hoyoverse butchers her combat kit. There's a difference. Okay, Dori, my favorite scam merchant. Combat power, decent minus. She receives quite a lot of memes and hate. Frankly, I think people are just dunking on Dori because it's funny nowadays. Dori is first and foremost a functional and competent healer. She heals a lot, and a functional healer cannot be bad as long as Furina is in the game. And no, Chi-Chi is not a functional healer. Dori is also a good battery. She refunds energy to the characters that she heals. Sure, they are better characters than Dori in the game. Cookie Shinobu fills a similar electro healer slot, but with added easy Hyper Bloom damage. Fischl fills the electro battery slot and deals a giga-chat amount of damage. But just like how Collei is still functional and decent when we don't have Nahida, Dori is functional and decent when we don't have a better option. Dori's constellations bring some quality of life, helping her apply more electro and heal and refund energy a little bit better. Her C6 could enable a fun on-field driver or Hyper Bloom playstyle. Dori's ease of build is decent. Her energy is not terrible. A Favonius Greatsword and an ER Sand can cover it. Other than that, she can hold any artifact set to help the team, the healing set, Noblesse, new Natlan support set, Instructor, Exile, even Deepwood, whatever the team needs. Dori's team flexibility, decent minus. She's a healer, put her in any team that needs healing, but she works better in Dendro related teams. Razor, huh? You know how Nahida, Furina, and Cookie Shinobu are my best teammates, right? Yeah? On an off chance that Cookie Shinobu is busy, then Dori is invited to the team. Oh, utility, decent. Recovering some weapon materials when crafting. Overall, decent minus. That is the last character on the character banner. Let's move on to weapons. XILONEN Sword, Peak Patrol Song. It's obviously good on XILONEN, providing about 10% damage increase for the whole team. It's also good on Albedo or Chiori. Albedo and Chiori would sacrifice a bit of their personal damage to buff the whole team. But other than those three characters, XILONEN's sword range from decent to bad on everyone else. We could put it on Bennett or a support sword user and give them a defense build to buff the team, but it's not that great. A simple Favonius sword may just provide more utility. Chiori's sword, Oracle Mitsugiri. It's good on Chiori and Albedo. It's also good on DPS XILONEN build. And this is important. This sword is also decent to good on many sword DPS characters, either on-field or off-field, because it gives a lot of crit, and it's especially good when the sword character can also make use of the sword's passive. And the passive can be easily triggered by playing in a team with another Geo character. Zhongli or XILONEN are the prime example of such Geo character that's very flexible and easily can be slotted into teams. This sword is good for me, Haitham, Ayato, Chlorine, Furina, Keqing. Wait, Haitham, when are you playing with Geo? Well, Zhongli is cool. I play with him sometime for his tech shield, and he can debuff enemies for me. Oh, 4-star weapons. Rust, the bow. It's good for Yoimiya, but Yoimiya is also not a good DPS unit. For everyone else, it's bad. Almost no other bow user does normal attack. 30 Bone, the sword. It's a sword, Razor, not a stick. Okay then, it's good on Ayaka, Ayato, Chlorine, Keqing. Similar start to Final of the Deep, Lion's Roar, Aminoma Kagyochi, or Black Sword. However, Final of the Deep and Aminoma Kagyochi are craftable, so it is not worth to pull for this specific weapon. Mountain Bracing Bolt, the polearm. Right off the bat, this weapon has an energy recharge substat to get burst back faster, but its passive buffs skill damage. It's very niche. It's decent minus for Kachina, Emily, Sino, but otherwise it's bad. Even then, Kachina is more of a buffing support. Her personal DPS is not much. She is better off using Favonius Lance to help the team with ER. And Emily's damage profile is not entirely skill damage. She has good burst damage and passive damage as well. The Mountain Bracing Bolt is not even a good ER stat stick because Prototype Star Glitter exists as a craftable. It gives 45% energy recharge. Favonius Codex is decent plus. I know it's a Favonius weapon, but there are a lot of competitive support catalyst weapon. The Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayer is up there, buffing the main DPS attack. The healers and shielders that needs ER and scale off HP likes to use Prototype Amber. The Dendro and Electro support can also use Hakushin Ring. Favonius Codex is just mostly used by Shan Yun, Charlotte, Mona, maybe Lisa. Sacrificial Greatsword. It's a decent ER stat stick, but Favonius Greatsword is just usually better. The only good use of Sacrificial Greatsword that I can think of is for Dia, if she needs to have a skill back earlier, and then only R5 would be useful there, because then the cooldown would be reduced to 17 seconds, which is significant enough. Alright Razor, I did my thing, explaining everything in Haitham's language. Back to you. Thank you Haitham for helping me out and not being too mean today. Here is me, Razor summary. XILONEN banner, good. Chiori banner, bad. Weapon banner, decent. And for all of these banners, we just want to get the 5-star early, then run away with our tail. If we stay long, we suffer many not good 4 stars. And as promised, here's our pulling recommendation. Pull XILONEN.
Meow.
She's not only great in combat, she's also great for exploration. It feels so good to just skate around with her and climb mountains with her. Now here's an usual advice for pulling a character. If you already know who you like, who you want to pull, based on their personality, their aesthetics, and their story presence, go ahead and pull them. But if you do not like any particular character, or you like everyone the same, or you're just looking to improve the team of the characters that you already have, then this video is for you, to give you more information on the combat prowess. Cool? Cool. We wish you the best of luck in your upcoming pulls. Bye bye now!